Hey everyone, Luke here with another video. For those of you unfamiliar with our channel, my husband Tyler and I make weekly travel videos where we document our experiences since moving from North America to the UK. As always, if you like our videos, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe because it really means a lot to us at this channel. We've recently reached the 1,000 subscriber mark, which I was so excited about, and I'm just so heartwarmed to see that this channel and community is growing. So please do let us know what you think of our videos. We really appreciate all of the feedback. If you've been following along so far, you'll know that we have been traveling at this point in our video series around Scotland, and in the last video we were specifically driving along the famous NC 500 coastal route, which is a really beautiful part of Scotland to check out in the Highlands. We didn't do the entire route, we decided to finish our route in the town of Ullapool. We arrived in Ullapool after driving the western portion of the NC 500, and we arrived around early afternoon. Once here, we checked into our hotel and rewarded ourselves with a delicious cone of ice cream. This we found was a great way to reward ourselves after a long drive, and we found it was really nice on a sunny day like we had it. We enjoyed our ice creams while walking along the waterfront, and this is a great way to just watch the beautiful surrounding highlands as well as some of the ferries that are coming in and out from some of the nearby islands. The following morning, we woke up in our hotel in Ullapool and drove to a hike called Stac. We were very fortunate to have excellent weather for this hike, and I have to admit this was probably one of our favorite hikes of our entire Scotland experience because you just get such amazing views. As you hike up, you get more and more 360-degree panoramic views of the surrounding highlands, lots of lochs, lots of beautiful nature surrounding you, and especially if you get a clear day like we had it, there is just endless views. I really can't speak highly of it enough. Another thing that we enjoyed while we were here in Ullapool was doing a scenic drive towards Luskentyre. So do check that out if you are in the Ullapool area. The next day, we took a morning ferry from the town of Ullapool to Stornoway, which is one of the towns in the Isle of Lewis and Harris. Honestly, guys, this was such a highlight of our trip. This was our first island that we visited of many Scottish islands that we visited over the next few weeks, and we found that this stood as one of our favorites of the entire trip. We were very lucky that the ferry ride was really beautiful. We had great weather, and the reflection of the sky and the water and lots of the various small islands that you pass along this route, it was a really awesome experience on the ferry from Ullapool to Stornoway. Once we arrived at the port, we took our car to the Neolithic Calanais standing stones, which, similar to Stonehenge kind of concept, where you have these beautiful older stones that I think have been around for something like 5,000 years. Really interesting to see and walk around and kind of imagine what these people were thinking when they put these stone formations together. So a nice thing to see, especially if the weather is not perfect for maybe some of the more coastal views. So this is a nice, more inland activity to do and was a great start to experiencing Isle of Lewis and Harris. Afterwards, we headed to Bosta Beach, where we just enjoyed kind of relaxing by the water, by the coastline. So we just enjoyed listening to the sounds of the waves, as well as the wind surrounding us. Super relaxing. Our next stop was to visit the Gearrannan Blackhouse village, which was an 1800s stone village that now serves as a museum to some of the older ways of life that locals lived at this particular time in history on the Isle of Lewis and Harris. The village includes 9 restored traditional thatched cottages, and these were the last group of black houses to be inhabited in all of the Western Isles. And if you, like me, are wondering what a black house is, it was a traditional type of house made of stone which thatched roofs that used to be common in Ireland, the Hebrides Islands, as well as the Scottish Highlands. It was honestly really nice to just walk around and learn some of the history of these beautiful and interesting buildings, as well as appreciate all of the natural scenery that is available to be appreciated in this area. Once you're done at the museum, you can continue along to the coastal path where you can appreciate some views, more views of cliffs and the water, and just a lot of beautiful natural scenery to enjoy. Our last stop of the day was actually on the Isle of Harris. Now you may be wondering, based on the name, the Isle of Lewis and Harris, whether these are actually separate islands or not, and if you have to take a ferry or anything. But funnily enough, these are actually not technically separate islands. They are connected to each other, but for various historic and cultural reasons, they do often refer to them as separate islands. So the Isle of Lewis and the Isle of Harris, even though technically, geographically, they are part of the same landmass. The drive that we did from the Isle of Lewis to the Isle of Harris was really beautiful and totally exceeded our expectations. It blew us away with all of the various winding roads through beautiful mountain passes and whatnot. I did not expect this during my drive, and it was such a treat to appreciate and enjoy this. I think we especially enjoyed this drive because you see a really cool transition from the moorlands to more mountainous terrain. And that was a real treat to see and enjoy. Once on Isle of Harris, we headed to Luskentyre Beach. We specifically chose this island because it has been rated one of the most beautiful beaches in all of the UK. I would even venture to say the world. It was such a deserved title because this was honestly one of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen in my entire life, and we were just pinching ourselves, especially with the sunset that we happened to get to enjoy on this beach, and that there was literally practically no one there. So we felt like we were on a different planet. Great views of the water, great white sand beach, as well as views of other islands and mountains in the distance. It was just so surreal and magical. All right, everyone, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned something new about this dynamic and beautiful region of Scotland. If Isle of Lewis and Harris was not on your list of places to see in Scotland or the UK, I highly encourage you to reconsider because it was one of the highlights of our entire trip. If you did enjoy it, be sure to give us a like, a comment, and subscribe. As I said earlier in the video, it really does help this channel, and I appreciate every single person who takes the time to give us feedback on our videos. It really encourages us to keep going. In our next video, we'll be taking you to the deservedly famous and well-known Isle of Skye, as well as Glencoe. So do not miss it. There is so much more to see in Scotland that I can't wait to share with you guys. So I'll see you at the next video. Have a good one. Bye.